Hey folks, hope you're good. Happy that you're spending time to learn something without a teacher supervision each and every day. I appreciate the efforts you put in the assignments you have submitted so far. Hope you understand that we won't be meeting live in all classes. So here's my first virtual non-live presence to teach you perfect tense. In this video, we are going to have a peek at using the present perfect, past perfect, and future perfect tense. I do hope that you remember that tense form can only be applied to verbs. And I also hope that you remember that there are two kinds of verbs, action verbs and auxiliary verbs. Actually, there are many, but then at least to our understanding, for this class, we would keep it to two verbs, two kinds of verbs, that is action verbs and auxiliary verbs. A sentence in English cannot be without a verb. Whether we use auxiliary verbs or action verbs, it does not matter until there is at least one form of verb. Here, auxiliary verb means helping verb. So, helping verb helps us to express very simple and short sentences in the English language. Let us look at what makes a verb into past perfect or present perfect or future perfect tense. In order to understand that, we have to look at the word perfect itself. So, a tense is applied to a verb and a verb is an action. Hence, a perfect tense means that the action being referred through the tense has come to a perfect completion. This perfect completion is what we need to keep in our mind while thinking about perfect tense. I think with that definition, I have given you something to think about perfect tense. Watch this video more than once until you understand the definition of perfect tense. So let us move on and look at the rules that we have to follow while trying to make sentences in perfect tense. Rule number one. A sentence with perfect tense needs to have both action verb and auxiliary verb. There is an exception when auxiliary verb is used twice. Otherwise, there should be two verbs. Rule number two. A sentence or a sentence with present perfect tense should contain the auxiliary verb have. A sentence with past perfect tense should contain the auxiliary verb had. A future perfect tense should contain, or a sentence with future perfect tense should contain the combination of auxiliary verb will have. Rule number three. The second verb should be in the form of past participle. Now look at a present perfect tense should work in the combination. There is actually a formula, right? So this is the formula. Present perfect tense is auxiliary verb plus past participle, and the auxiliary verb is have and has depending upon the subject verb agreement. That is, you could say I have, we have, right? But then she has, it has, right? So auxiliary verb plus past participle form of auxiliary verb or action verb. Now past perfect tense, you have a similar formula where you use auxiliary verb plus past participle form of auxiliary verb or action verb. Since it is past perfect tense, have, the auxiliary verb have becomes had. So if you are to use it as a past perfect tense, you only use had. And moving on, we have the future perfect tense. So the combination slightly changes from the rest. You have will plus auxiliary verb plus past participle form of auxiliary verb or action verb. So it is will plus have, right? So the second auxiliary, the first auxiliary verb is always have, has or had, depending upon the tense you use. If it is present tense, once again let me remind you, you use have or has. If you use past tense, it is had. If it is future tense, you say will have. So will plus have plus past participle of auxiliary verb or action verb. Follow these rules, internalize them, and it would mean you have perfected the perfect tense. Also, let us look at some examples. Before we look at examples, take a hard look at the table here. The table consists of most commonly used verbs and their past participle forms. Now, it might be a little bit overwhelming to you, but then let me stop here and then give you one slight story I would like to share with you, which is very common in all students, everybody around the world, have a common sharing in this particular format. That is the first time we learn to ride a bicycle. You might remember that the first time you were learned to ride your bicycle. I do remember how I learned to ride my bicycle, right? So I was around 5 years old, 6 years old. There used to be a lot of children who used to take turns. We used to have only one cycle. We used to rent a cycle, but then one way or the other this happens. So that I have to sit, but then I'm just new to riding bicycle and I don't know how to ride a bicycle whatsoever, right? The adults are not there for supervision. So what happens is that there are two three kids, one to my left, one to my right, one in the back, right? They hold the cycle and then push me slowly, right? Now I am being taught by little seniors that I shouldn't middle with my hip, I shouldn't leave my hips stable, right? I shouldn't be shaking my hips, I should not hold the handlebar in a very grip manner, right? So on and so forth. I need to look at the road, far side of the road, not the near side of the road, so on and so forth. So you think about all these things. But then, when you are learning, this is the way you learn, right? You have too many rules, right? Think, find exhaustive that, there are too many rules in riding a bicycle. But then do we go saying that, okay, there are too many rules, I hate rules, I don't want to do it? No, we don't, right? We find it exciting, we find it curious to learn to ride a bicycle because, you learn to ride a bicycle, you could also ride a bike. So your curiosity expands. So what happens after 6 months, after 8 months, right? After so many years, you take a bicycle today, what happens to you today? You don't think about all the rules, right? You don't think about not to, pedal with your hip, not to hold your handlebar tightly, you don't think about all that. You just take a casual ride in your bicycle after so many years now, after 2 years, after 3 years, after 4 years. Why is that? That is because you have got used to the rules and your body has accustomed, your brain has accustomed to the rules that had been, helping you drive your bicycle. Friends and students, this is the same case with grammar as well, right? Maybe in the beginning there are too many rules, right? There are too many do's and too many don'ts. There are too many regulations, right? There are too many standard operating procedures. But then when you move on, I assure you that you would do it unconsciously, you would do it very casually, right? So don't look at all these rules and regulations as a thing of, thing that would exhaust you. It would only help you a little later. All right, yes. So we will straight away go ahead and look at the examples. Now look at the sentence here. In order to find the right solution, we always find clues from the sentence. In the parenthesis, we have the action verb live. We do know that past participle form is common for a sentence which needs to be changed to the perfect tense. So the past participle form of live is, I could hear you saying lived, L-I-V-E-D. If you said or thought lived, then you are right. Now we are halfway through. Next, we need to find whether past or present or future form of the perfect tense to be used here. So the rest of the sentence always gives you the clue. Keep the pronoun we away for a while. Two phrases, this house and since 2010, suggest to us very big clues. This house suggests that the speaker of the sentence is talking about the action in the present. Since 2010 suggests that action continues from the past into the present. The action verb live is suggested here through the word supplied in the parenthesis. So the speaker is talking about an action which is happening till today, which had been continuing from the past. So what form of perfect tense should we be using? Yes, present perfect tense, because the action live mentioned by speaker extends to the present. So the solution is we have lived in this house since 2010. Let us move on to the second example. The verb we, the verb see should be working on us. The verb we should be working on is see. The past participle form of see is seen. Once again, there is a reference to a movie as this. So the speaker is talking about a current event. So we use the present perfect tense. The solution is I have seen this movie. The third example, let us do the same analysis. The past participle form of finish is finished. But this time, the sentence makes reference to next Monday, which is in the future. So we employ future perfect tense. To employ future perfect tense, we use will and we use have, because we use have all the time in perfect tense form. So the solution is the students will have finished the assignment next Monday. The fourth example. Though in this example, the statement is made by the speaker in the present, the action does not mean that the speaker is calling her now at this very moment. So we have to use the past perfect tense. So the first step is to find the past participle form of the verb given. The verb given is try. The past participle form is tried. We are sure that past perfect tense should be used. So we employ had instead of have, which is the past tense of have. The solution is she had tried to call her many times. The fifth example. Past participle form of come is come also. The sentence does not make reference to the future. So we can rule out future perfect tense. Chris is late to school. But it is more of a sentence which says a fact rather than telling that Chris is late to school today. So we can rule out present perfect tense. Hence the solution is Chris had come late to school after employing past perfect tense. Can you try to find a solution to the next example? The solution is the rain will have stopped by tomorrow. That should have been easy because future was referred by the word tomorrow. Look at the next example. Now try the next one. The solution is they will have learnt Chinese before going to Beijing. This should have been a little tricky since it refers to the future but in a slightly hidden manner. If you answer this one right, you are an expert. Good job. Try the last one. The solution is the players had lost interest before the play ended. This is tricky too. Unlike the last example, if you had concentrated on the word before, then you would have been fooled by it because the word ended denotes to the past. Like I said, you would definitely get better using the bicycle training analogy. So keep practicing. Happy learning.